Hi guys, Ramon Goose here, and this is a this is actually a coffee chat, okay? Because then I don't have to be professional. I can make mistakes with my speech, and I don't have to do all that editing. So we can drink coffee like with my friends here. So have a coffee with you and watch this. Enjoy. So here we go. This is all going to be one take as well. So if I make a mistake, so be it. Right, we're going to look at Telecasters today. 5 Telecasters. And why do I have 5 Telecasters? This is going to be a therapeutic session, I think, because I need to know myself. Why do I need 5 Telecasters? We're going to find out. If only I had a plectrum, which is somewhere around here. Let's have a look here. My box of tricks. That one will do. I don't like that plectrum. Okay, well, my favourite plectrum. You know, we should do a show just on plectrums actually, because I've got a little trick about plectrums, but that's for another time. Okay, so I'm just running through the projector amps today. The Reverberama Reverb, just a touch of that. I've got the Quicksilver for some delay. I've got the Crucial Audios, my slapback, which is an always-on pedal. We're running a lot of vibration here. I don't know why. I've got to sort the casing of the film sound is just vibrating like crazy. So I need to sort that out. But today, so we'll have to bear with that. But anyway, we're going to start with this one here. This is 52 Telecaster. It's an ESP custom shop Navigator guitar, but that doesn't matter. This was Leo Fender's first design, and you know, this is akin to like doing a first take on a track. If you're a session guitarist, you know. And anyone that knows that's recorded knows that all your passion and all your best ideas go on that first take. And I think this is similar. You could compare it to Leo Fender's Telecaster, because you know all his best ideas and his passion went into this, arguably went into this design here. And it really was the evolution of the electric Spanish guitar. The thing about it is it's very, very simple. You can mod it, as you're going to see in a minute. So that's the beauty of it, you know. But I like to always keep in my possession an original sort of 52 style. It's not original, obviously, it's an ESP, but you know what I mean. My first ever guitar that I got was a Squire Korean 91 Telecaster with a white scratch plate. Same as this, but white scratch plate. My grandmother, my dear grandmother, she bought it for me. She gave me a choice, a Sega Master System or a Telecaster and a PV amp. Fortunately for me, I chose this. I ended up selling it, but that was the first guitar that I learned on. I learned everything on that first guitar, and I just wanted to be a rhythm guitar player. And that's the thing about these guitars, is they're amazing for rhythm guitar. And if you think about the genre that was around when Leo Fender designed this, you know, you had jazz and you had country and western, you know, country music. So if you're playing some Eagles, let's play some Tequila Sunrise.
It's another tequila sunrise. It's a world still looks the same. Another friend.
You know, just amazing rhythm guitar. You know, you can. Sorry, I played that wrong. Incredible as a rhythm guitar, and so you know, for jazz and picking, country picking. I'm gonna turn that treble right up. So it's great for that, and also jazz, because they. Jazz, 50s, 1950s jazz. There's actually a Canadian guitarist. I don't know if he's still performing, or I'm not sure. Maybe he died, unfortunately. But his name is Ed Bickard, and he basically played one of these with a paff in the neck. You know, it's just great for. Turn off. And of course, you know, anybody that watches this channel knows I'm a big fan of Martin Knopfler. So all of that kind of stuff is, you know, but you can do metal. Is it John 5 from Marilyn Manson? He essentially just plays Telecasters. That's what he plays, you know, and you know, it's the only guitar, in my opinion, you'd ever need. Okay, you might argue and say a Stratocaster, you know, a Les Paul, but let's face it, you know, I mean Keith Richards, you know, I rest my case. You know, there's so many great players. Danny Gatton, Roy Buchanan, Roy Gallagher played one for slide. You know, you could go on and on. It was, you know, Bruce Springsteen is such an iconic use of this instrument. So I think you need to have if you don't have a Blackguard in your collection, you need to have a rethink, guys, you know. So let's move on to the next one. So this guitar here gets the most interest. People are always very inquisitive about this particular guitar, not least because it's got this strange pickup here. About 15 years ago, I built a Goosecaster, which is essentially a Stratocaster made into a slide guitar, which Goosecaster Rycuda came up with. And then a few years later, after I built that guitar, I thought I'm going to put the same thing into a Telecaster, because my friend Bill from Japan, thanks Bill, sent me some guitar parts, and I built a Blackguard. And then over the years, I started modifying it. This is a Mojo replica of a Valco pickup from a old lap steel. I've got an original one on my Telecaster, and this is a pretty good job. This is an original Gaia tone, and the original Gaia tones, gold foils, are the best, you know, they're absolutely wonderful. You know, and I've got to mention Blake Mills here because I copied him on that pickup. I flipped the control panel here just so that I can do my swells. I did actually, if you can see this, I did actually put another volume here, but that's broken, so it's back there. But eventually it will be back there again, so I can get my pinky. The bridge is quite interesting because it means I can get my little finger to palm meet there. It's got 12s on it, flat wounds. Oh, the previous Tele had 11s, round wounds. This has got 12 flat wounds. Higher action, not too high. And it's got a real curve on the radius on the fingerboard, and it's got 6100 fret wire. The previous one doesn't. I think it's more vintage frets. But this is kind of actually the song. No, obviously it's a great slide guitar. You know, but another kind of use I use it. Sometimes I use it in a D major tuning, flat ones, and I don't play slide. And if there's actually a song on my YouTube channel, a couple of videos away, where I kind of just use this to great effect, if I can boldly say so. And this is kind of like a very simple little riff with a vibrato on. Right, so you wouldn't be able to get that exact tone. You get close with the Blackguard, but that's a whole nother world, you know. So this lives in D major tuning. So you could argue out of these 5 Telecasters, I probably only need these 2 really, push come to shove. However, I'm going to show you the other 3, but you know, I couldn't do this on my other Blackguard because it's got 12s, it's high action, different pickups. So, you know, that's the reasoning for this one. So, you know, you might want to think about putting one of these together. It's really good fun to build it yourself, guys. You know, you can go out and buy a replica, but you're never going to have as much fun as putting one together yourself. It's a really good fun project to do, especially in lockdown. I think, you know, get some old parts. It doesn't have to be a Valco even. It might just be a pickup of an old Vox, or it could be any pickup. You know, as long as you jack the action up, get it for slide, it's going to be great. So that's kind of my that's my kind of Telecaster. Oh, sorry. We call this a Goosecaster because the Telecaster is a Strat and the Goosecaster is a Tele. So if you build one of these, you've got to call it a Goosecaster, please. Right, okay, we're going to go to the next guitar. Okay, so this guitar here, I promised myself I wasn't going to modify it, but I was naughty and I did. So I love the 69 Thinline guitar. I think it's an incredible design. You know, think about all the designs. You know, people design guitars all the time, and people have sort of updated guitars. But I think, again, Fender really hit the jackpot with this design. It's a beautiful design with a scratch plate. The F-hole just looks so aesthetically. It looks so pleasing to the eye. Sorry, I can't speak today. You see? There you go. I'm not going to edit that out. And it's, you know, hasn't got the skunk stripe. Aesthetics. There you go. Hasn't got the skunk stripe. It has a maple. It has a maple laminate or whatever on here, which is really nice. This is an ESP Navigator Custom Shop again. It's got a Dublier green capacitor in here, and it's got a guide tone in the neck. And I was going to leave it stock, but then I thought, oh, I'll put the guide tone in there. And I bought an old guide tone from the 60s. And it didn't work. So I gave Mark from Mojo Pickups this guide tone pickup, which is in the neck now. And he very graciously rewound it. So it's got a new coil on it, but the magnet's old. So I don't know if that makes much difference. And I think these are rubber magnets, if I'm not wrong. And this is a Rumpelstiltskin or a Mojo. I can't remember, but it is what it is. I don't particularly like the bridge pickup. I need to change that, I think. It's got flat ones, 11s, so, you know. Not sure if that is the best pickup in the bridge. I might fool around with that. It's got a Glendale ashtray bridge here and Glendale steel saddles, because my philosophy is, because this is a 69, I want to keep the steel saddles on there. You might argue and say, well, brass is better. But I kind of just like the, you know, this is a 69. I want it to sound like a 69 Tele. The flat wounds are amazing. So my argument for having this guitar is that I want the Thinline edition and I want to have flat wounds. You know, flat wounds is a very different sound. So I'm going to give you an example of that. We're going to go on the neck here with the Gold Foil. And this is actually another song, original song from my new EP, which I'm going to be releasing on this channel. So I don't want to bore you about that, but check this out. I'm wobbling the neck here. So you can kind of see that you've got this great, you know, it's just a different texture. It's almost like a double bass. And only this guitar can do that, you know. Round wounds are going to give you a different tone. So this is why this is a really beautiful instrument for that kind of, I tend to use it more for that kind of rustic style. You can put a bit of fuzz on it and play. You know, or you can put some delay. If I did put some nice, beautiful delay, sort of. It's got a different vibe about it, and with the flat wounds, with the gold foil, you know, the 69 style. I think it's. I use it a lot. It's very, very light. It's a beautiful, beautiful instrument. I mean, it's probably my most favorite guitar that I own. This is probably my favorite guitar. And like I said, so that's why I've kind of, you know, you don't want to have two Telecasters the same, doing the same thing. They need to be different enough to warrant their place in your collection. That's my kind of opinion. So, and I tend to play this with my fingers. I don't really play it with a plectrum, and that's really nice to explore different techniques, such as... So that's kind of the vibe of that one. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this instrument here is really in a state of transition. It's a little bit heavier. And again, this is a parts guitar that I made. And the neck was made by a guy called Robert Gilmore. So shout out to Robert because he makes beautiful necks. It's got a crazy flame maple, Brazilian rosewood on the front. And we've got the Bixby. We've got a 50s Dynasonic, which is from a Guild. Gretsch were black and Guild were white. And we've got a 60s Guytone. This is like the sister to the Goosecaster Guytone gold foil. So they came from the original kind of Guytone donor guitar. So this pickup here is crazy good. But my dilemma with this guitar is I really wanted to recreate the George Harrison Gretsch Duo Jet or Jet, whatever it was called. And I didn't have another one. I only had one of these. My good friend Tim gave me this one, and this is rewound. And I didn't have one for the neck. So at the time, I put this gold foil in. But it sounds so crazy, so good. I mean, just check this out, guys. So just... It's just a massive sound. But, however, guys, I have since got another Dynasonic pickup, which is going to go in here. So my realization of a Gretsch Duojet in a Telecaster will be realized. So that's a project for this lockdown, is installing that pickup in here. I'll probably get my friends from the bass gallery to do that. So let's just go to the bridge pickup here. And just check out that. So you can see that it's got a kind of a twang. I don't know if it's as good as an original one because it's been rewound. My belief is that when you sort of mess around with something, it's never quite as good. So not sure, but there is a magic when you combine these two Dynasonics together. If you're playing a Gretsch guitar like a Jet or something, and you combine them together, that in the middle sound, there's nothing like it. That twang that you get, obviously, it's very rockabilly, but you know that's kind of what I'm trying to achieve with this guitar. So, really, the whole reason for this one is for that kind of Gretsch vibe, the Duojet with a Bixby, again, it's a different flavour. It's a Telecaster, but it's trying to be a Gretsch. That's the kind of whole deal with this guitar. And it's been quite a fun project. It's taken me a few years to get this one together. So let's go to the last one. Okay. Now this is actually my newest acquisition. This is the latest Star. And again, ESP Navigator Custom Shop. And you're probably asking why ESP at this point? Why ESP Navigator? Well, I'm going to do a whole video on that coming up, another coffee chat pretty soon, and I'll explain my reasons behind that. But this is this is just an amazing colour. This kind of depending on the time of the day, it changes. It's a beautiful metallic. It's got a great nitro finish. This, normally I'm fiddling with my Telecasters, changing pickups, saddles, everything. But this one I'm just going to leave as it was made by ESP in 1997 or 95. I don't know how many years ago. Possibly this is 25 years old. It's in great condition. It's got a nice chunky neck. I normally have 11 round wounds. 11 round wounds are my gauge. Unless I'm using flat wounds, I'll play 11 flat wounds fingerstyle, or slide guitar, I play 12s. So this has got 11 round wounds. And this kind of lives in that Robben Ford sort of style. So this is a total Robben Ford guitar, basically. I'm a big fan of Robben Ford. He was, when I was at college, music college, he was my number one guy to learn how to play guitar. So for years I was looking for that kind of guitar to do that Robben Ford thing. And only 3 or 4 days ago I managed to get this guitar from Japan. It arrived and it's amazing, and it's really, really great. So it's got Seymour Duncan Antiquities in here. Normally I would change them for Mojo pickups, which are my favourites, but I'm going to leave these here for a while just to see how they sound. My question to you guys is, do old Seymour Duncans from the 90s sound better than now, the ones that they have now? Is there a difference in construction? That would be my question for you guys. I'd like to know that, actually. Maybe I'm going to change the capacitor, because the capacitor looks really small and silly. I don't know if that makes a difference. Other things about it is the neck shape. If I'm going to show you the neck shape, it's absolutely perfect. So it's not fat, but it's certainly not thin, and it's kind of somewhere in the middle. Just incredible neck shape. The navigators are not narrow. This is not a narrow one. No, we're talking 42 millimeters. So it's not going to be probably like a Fender 60s. Fender 60s may be a bit narrower, but we're talking half a mil here, But let me just show you some sounds. So it does that Robben Ford thing. So really, really amazing guitar. It kind of lives in that Robben Ford world for me. Robben Ford, of course, so he can do some beautiful. Let's put some delay on there. He gets that great sort of in between sound. So that's the thing to judge this kind of style Tele, is that middle position. If you can get that really nice. If you can get that great middle position. Not really sure about the neck. A little bit underwhelming. But you can't have everything. So really, that's the coffee chat for today. Looking at the 5 Telecasters. Oops, I just dribbled coffee all over my new one. Do you need 5 Teles? Well, let's have a look at the conclusion. We've got, you probably could do with one if you're not a slide player. But if you want to have one for slide, you could live with two. You know, I've got one that's doing a Gretsch thing. I've got one that's a flat wound. You know, flat wounds on a Telecaster is another thing. Okay, you guys need to experience what flat wounds on a Telecaster sound like through an amp. It's a beautiful thing. You hope with a Thinline, that's what that does. So, and then this one does a Ron Ford thing, the rosewood neck. It's you know, that fast attack, slightly darker sound. You know, this thing is primed to play fast. I can shred on this. I don't want to shred. It's not good to shred. We need to play phrases. But if I want to, I can shred like a beast on this thing. Whereas on my, you know, I'd say the Blackguard, coming back to the Blackguard, it's really the only guitar you would really need. It's the most fun guitar to play. But generally, Telecasters, in my opinion, they're very easy. They're lightweight. You know, they're an easy guitar to pick up. You can, you know, take it around the house with you. You can put it on your back and carry it. It's not heavy. You know, I think they are my favorite guitars for sure are the Telecasters. And there you go. That's this video. Hopefully you've got something out of this. And I know I have, because I've actually explained to myself why I need 5 Telecasters in the first place. So let's meet soon. And in the meantime, take care, guys. And feel free to ask me any questions. Take care. Bye.